Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. So without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is how the black woman can display true strength. Okay. I want to first send a special thank you to all my listeners. If this is your first time listening, thank you. And to all my older and newer subscribers. And also, I'd like to say, to start off with, the average black woman, if someone was to ask the average black woman, are they a strong black woman? You know, they're going to say, yes, I am a very strong black woman. The things that black women have to handle. And I think all races of women can relate with pain and trauma, but not to the magnitude and the length I believe that black women have had to. And the things that we have to ask ourselves as black women in 2021 is, you know, being strong is one thing, okay? But are black women, are we as black women as a whole, are we labeled as strong to manipulate us emotionally out of having the desire or need to be loved and be helped on all sorts of levels by, namely, men? Okay, so is this a tactic that has been labeled and placed upon black women? Because any woman can display strength. Okay, any woman of any race can display strength, but this is like a category where black women are known, for being strong. And has it manipulated us as black women, like I said once again, out of being loved? Also, on another hand, I think especially in, these modern times, many black women will say they're feminine, but they misconstrue it with their sexuality, being sexy. But as we well know, even a masculine man can be quote unquote sexy. So just putting on a dress and makeup does not make a woman feminine. Okay? And I wanted to start off by saying that through the generations of time, the black woman has suffered from neglect, abuse, and violence on levels that separate black women from other races of women. The psychological difficulty that lies within the black woman is that she has a hard time balancing between being taken advantage of, yet, on the other hand, cloaking her fear of being hurt with becoming over aggressive, which retrospectively comes forth as masculinity. So basically, what I'm saying is a lot of black women, we have this thing where you know we're submissive sometimes to a point where we let bad things happen to our children. We let ourselves be disrespected by men because we're trying to figure out. I think a lot of us as black women are trying to figure out where is the safe zone. Where is the equal or close to equal balance of not being a fool, not being taken advantage of, but like I said, a lot of times we hide our fear, okay, and being aggressive because I believe a lot of times we as black women can view that as being or as some form of protection, like if we're aggressive. Okay. Some of us lacked male relatives to protect us. Okay. And so then we as black women became that brother or father to protect ourselves. And I think, sometimes, other people can't relate, you know, and I think sometimes, like I said, some of us are missing that male protection in our lives or have never had it, or maybe they were abusive to us as black women. Okay, so then, like for example, let's say that you have a man in the house and, he starts beating on you. You don't have a brother or a father or an uncle that will speak up on your behalf. This is not all black women, but this is some of them. So then you become this man yourself and you defend yourself physically. Okay, so this becomes a part of sometimes, our persona as black women. And also, I think maybe sometimes maybe multi personality or dissociation from our feminine self. Yet, some of us were damaged by our male relatives and find a hard time rejecting abuse, or we may become an abuser ourselves. Okay? Also, then there are the classical stereotypes that tightly place women of color, specifically dark skinned women, in the roles of seductress, comedian, or something violent. Okay, so some type of bad kick butt type of woman, something where, you're displaying masculine traits, okay? Which has become a false empowerment for black women, okay? So, I think a lot of times what we see on TV, when we view black women on TV, this just justifies, our behavior sometimes as black women, when we see, the videos and the women that are black women that are half naked, we're thinking that's being feminine, just because, you have a G string on or you have fishnet, something, unladylike on. And so we like to say, hey, that's femininity, and it's not, okay. Just the roles that have been placed on us, and that we seem to continue to buy into, that rob us of being a woman at times in 2021. Yet, what we as black women must learn and understand is that our true power isn't in walking around with our shoulders cocked back like a man. So there's nothing wrong with holding your shoulders back and holding your head high. There's nothing wrong with that. But, to walk around, as if you're already ready for a fight. Okay? Walking around, like I said, ready for a fight, shoulders cocked back, being aggressive because subconsciously we think it grants us protection. Okay? Or having sex quickly as to not feel played by a man. Okay, so these are things that we feel like we're strong in, and definitely the one about having sex with many men, or having sex one night stands very quickly because subconsciously you feel like before he dumps you or before he plays you, you want to play him. All these are signs that we've been hurt in the past, and that we're afraid of true love and being loved as black women. But the thing is, we are capable of being loved, okay? But one may ask, okay, where does the true strength of a black woman lie? So if it's not in the black woman being loud, if it's not in the black woman ready for a fight, if having true strength as a black woman isn't in those things, then where does true strength lie in the black woman? So I want to go over some things where we as black women, can display true strength. Okay? And number one is true strength of a black woman is despite being raped or abused, that she never loses her femininity, okay? Because that's the most valuable thing that we have. It's not our breast, it's not our body parts, because let's face it, what if something happens and you lose your breast or something? Are you still not considered a woman? Or what if a man decides to get breast? Does that make him a woman? No, it doesn't. Okay? So what I'm saying is we need to hold on to that no matter what, because that's a part of who we are as women, is our femininity and our ability to be gentle yet firm. So I'm not saying being a pushover, because I think it's left a bad taste in a lot of black women's psyche and even mouth to even say the word femininity. It's been stumped on, it's been made a fool of, so we're not going to act like that. We're not going to act like, black little girls come out masculine. They don't, you know. But the thing is, though, never to lose sight of it and never let anyone take that away from you. That's true strength. The true strength isn't in being masculine. The true strength is, despite what happens to you, that you hold on to your femininity. Number two, true strength lays Lies at being able to distinguish when it is time to remove ourselves from people and situations that cause us to feel a need to become aggressive, which alters our true feminine nature. And what I mean by that is, um, if we're around people or if we're in a relationship with a man and we feel like we have to become aggressive, that's something to pay attention to. It's not about one upping him or trying to become more louder than him. If you're in a situation where you feel like your femininity is at stake, it's time for us as black women to have the self esteem, the discipline, and self love to say, hey, I'm going to leave this situation. You're altering who I am as a woman. If I feel like I got to hit and punch you and I got to get all upset and become the Incredible Hulk and this type of monster, this is stripping away at your femininity as a woman. If you're in situations like that, or if you're with a man that is causing you to feel like you've got to put your dukes up, you've got to punch and hit, you've got to curse and yell, and he's getting a kick out of it, or you have to defend yourself, it's time for us, once again, like I said, to have the self esteem to say, hey, this is altering who I really am as a woman, and it's time for me to walk away. I don't need a man that bad or want a man that bad or place myself in situations that's going to cause me to act other than who I am. And as a black queen, as a black woman, femininity is definitely on the list. So basically, I'm saying not to be a pushover, or let yourself be abused, but know how to remove yourself from those situations and to choose femininity over toxic relationships that will strip you of your femininity. Okay, you have to make a choice, and the choice should be your feminine self. Like, if you have to be feminine all by yourself, be that. If you don't have a man in your life or something like that to appreciate you being a female, being feminine, and you feel like they're taking advantage of that, it's best to be feminine by yourself than to stay with someone that you feel is stripping away at your femininity just to have someone around you. Number three, true strength is about learning how to balance between not being a pushover, yet learning how to become comfortable and confident in remaining a lady. Okay, so this is about not losing your cool all the time. I was just in the deli part of the grocery store, and I'm waving. I'm trying not to get loud. The workers are kind of like off doing something else, and a black woman, she didn't even want anything from the deli, but she said, this is how you have to do it. And she started yelling like, hey, come over here. We need help over here. And she said, and she was trying to be helpful. She said, sometimes you got to yell or whatever to get some attention. And I'm like, that's the crux of what's, the problem with us as black women. Some of us anyway, yeah, it did get their attention. And yeah, me just waving and saying you who hello, that didn't get their attention, but eventually that would have. Yeah, it got their attention, but what type of negative response or thought were the workers thinking about the black young lady, even though she was trying to be helpful to me, and I appreciate that. But this is like the crux of our problem. We don't always have to be loud. We don't always have to be aggressive to be seen or heard, despite what we might believe. Okay, number four, true strength is about not covering up our past failures and mistakes with more mistakes. I'm going to repeat that again. True strength is about not covering up our past failures as women and our past mistakes with more mistakes. And an example of that is, like if you chose the wrong man, you had a child by the wrong man, you're a single mom. Let's not continue to cover it up with dating more men when we need to be sitting down raising our child. So we don't need to just keep covering up our mistakes with more mistakes. True strength is realizing where we failed at and doing something different and positive, even if no one else around us is doing it, okay? Number five, true strength is about not hurting an innocent man just because we have fear of what happened with another man in the past, okay? So, there are still some good black men out there, or men in general, okay? But true strength is not in hurting someone that that may be good to you and that is being nice to you. And just because we were hurt when we were innocent by a man, so we want to hurt another man that, like I said, may not even be harmful to us, because that's part of the problem that we have in our community as black people across the country, is that, there was a time where, the agendas that took place were externally destroying us. But now it's to the point where now we're destroying each other as black men and black women. Okay, we're destroying each other. And in order for that to stop, we have to step back and keep our pain to ourselves, and be mature enough and to have faith in God, the God over Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, to heal ourselves so that we can love ourselves and then we can love other people. Also, number 6, true strength is about revealing to our daughters our weaknesses so that we can produce better black women for tomorrow. Okay? So this is no more about being jealous or, just the negative toxic relationships that can exist within the African American race between mother and daughter. We should want our daughters to be better than us. Not just to look better than us, but to become better than us. And part of doing that is by revealing our weaknesses and things that we did wrong to our daughters so that they won't go down the same roads and pitfalls as we did, so that we can produce better black women for tomorrow. Okay? Number 7, true strength isn't in finding the most revealing thing to wear or dancing the most provocative. Yet, true strength is about not being sure if wearing an outfit that is more modest will get you less attention or stares or likes on Instagram, yet knowing that all attention isn't good attention. And if we call ourselves black women that support the black man, then we as black women can help uplift the black man by showing ourselves respect and having the strength to have the self-esteem to understand that the less you show, the more beautiful you are as a woman. So I kind of want to do a recap on that, okay? Because a lot of times we feel like, I think a lot of black women, we as black women, we feel like, oh, you're bold, you're confident if you wear something like, I don't know, the newest styles that's out, something that is showing a lot of your body parts, right? You think you're confident by being able to do that. Whether you're overweight or you're at the appropriate weight, you're thinking, I'm confident for being able to walk outside with my breast showing or with see-through clothing, but that's not where true strength lies at. True strength is when you say, hey, I'm going to put on something that's modest, which means that you have a little more clothing on, okay? So you're not showing all of your body parts and your silhouette and saying, hey, I don't know if it's going to get me as many likes on Instagram. Hey, may nobody like it but like 3 people. Versus if I have something see-through on, I'm going to get 100 likes. And I don't know when I walk outside, if guys are going to have their tongue out and be blowing their horns in their car. I don't know if it's going to get me that, but I'm going to be confident enough to put some clothes on, and maybe that right guy that approaches me may be my husband because he saw my beauty versus my inner beauty versus just seeing my body and then being hurt if I'm used for sex, okay? And when I mean about helping the black man, although the black man must help himself, we must help the black man. I've said in other episodes, we have to help him have respect for us, because it doesn't matter what race of man it is. When women are naked, how can a man think logically? Okay, and if that's your plan, is for a man to be outside of his mind, then as black women, we can't complain when we're just used for sex. But if we want to help the black man have respect, learn how to have respect for us, and be able to see us past just sex, we need to help him by being confident enough to put on some clothes. And we need to display true strength by not bouncing our butts up in the air. You think it's confidence to, twerk and dance sexually on a video. So that's like, supposed to be confidence, right? But true confidence is it being able to garner attention, to be able to get the attention from others without having to do such over the top things. You don't have to, put your sexuality out there, to get attention. Okay, and that's where true strength in a woman lies at. Okay, also, as the black woman does have a long legacy of being strong. So we've got a long legacy of being strong, and definitely strength when we have needed it, But in 2021, going into the greatest year yet of 2022, we can no longer let anyone, not even ourselves, continue to deny our rights to what is considered true femininity. For our sexuality or body type does not determine the measurement of the black woman's femininity, but the ability to persevere despite all adversity and still be able to maintain our dignity and the desire to remain a lady. That pretty much concludes this segment. It's been a pleasure talking with you this evening. I hope everyone has a happy holiday. If the holidays is your thing, if it's not your thing, I hope you still have a peace of mind during these times. If you like what you heard, you can hit the like, notification button, subscribe, or share with others. Also, if you'd like to contact me, or if you have any questions or suggestions, or would like to leave a financial contribution, you can at thetruthwithtrinity.com. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.